and they stay in my boarding house and study in my school, which had children, IS children and doctors' children. And they blended so beautifully. So one of the students who's passed out is now working in England.
Wow.
Right? And today we had the graduation ceremony. There were 3 of these. We call them the adopted children. And one of them was representing football, women's in Haryana state. And if you meet them, they speak absolutely fluent English. You can't even make out that that their mother is a housemaid, or one of their mother was a beggar, and they've all done so well. Because that thought we did not let the thought come into our mind. I can't tell you, I still remember there was a child called Kajal, one of the adopted children. The teacher brought in saying, she found a love letter in Kajal's bag. And the love letter was written by a student whose father was working in United Nations. And I was smiling. So she says, ma'am, I said, these children have been accepted. They are the normal children. Learn from the children. They really know how to embrace everyone. It was such a beautiful moment for me, So there are a lot of examples where if you know how to deal with the children blossom well. I remember when in the beginning, in 2007, so we started the school, it was still class 5, then it went to 6, 7, and then I granted. So there was a boy, I still remember his name, called Zoran Sangat. He was in the boarding house and he was caught with cigarette. So there was a big hue and cry. That was the first time it was caught, and the teachers thought of suspending him and expelling him, So I called that boy and I told the teachers, just let me deal with it. I called and I made Zoran Sanga sit there. And I said, Zoran, I'm sure you didn't want to smoke. You just wanted to try, But you were caught before that. This is my washroom. Go and smoke there. Finish trying. And after that, don't go back to it. I would say never go back to it. But eventually also, if you really want to go back to it, go back when you can earn and buy your own cigarette. And that's all. And I broke it. And he was so embarrassed and he walked out. And when he walked out, the coordinator caught him and says, you got a big hiding from her? So he looked at, what he said? She is too good that I don't want to do any wrong. Oh. That sentence, the coordinator, I still remember Prachi ma'am came and she says, ma'am, he said that. I had tears rolling down and I told the teachers, they're bound to cross. Yeah. They're bound to experiment. We have to hold their hands. You just don't think of punishing them. Sure. Getting back to it, if you're in the business of education, you better ensure that you're bringing up children with logical reasoning, sound mind, not out of fear. Never out of fear.
True. Right. At prep level, you're too young, then we're dealing with kids till 10 years. And then we've got those teenagers who don't want to be contained with anything. How do we deal with 3 different age groups?
See, first I'll take the older group. In today's world, the children give you a window of only about 1%. The rest is reserved for their friends, the digital world, the social networking and all. How are you going to use that 1% to reach out to the children is extremely important. Okay? Are you going to nag them that cut your hair short? Don't gel. These are the common things. Tuck in your shirt. No. Don't waste your energy on these things. If they're using gel, remember our time we had oil to put the hair in place. Now they gel. Right? If they have little spikes, overlook that. Because you have larger issues to talk to them about. They are seeing the world not with your guidance, but just by the click of the button on their digital, either it is laptop or computer.
It's
So
very
that
scary. We can't control it.
yes, so that 1% hold on with reasoning, with logic, with communication. Very, very important. Don't shut it. Don't become frivolous. Don't just waste your energy and the child's time and your time with the child on bickering and nagging, because there are a lot of larger, life related telling to the children, which is very, very
True.
so you just have 1%. I request all the teachers, all the parents not to waste, to really optimize them, to reach out to these children, because we are living in a world where we are losing the humanism in each child. They are digital children. They don't hold conversations, right?
True.
They don't believe in touch. As it is, the school is teaching back touch and good touch. Right from the beginning, you put in their head that you cannot trust another human being.
True.
There is
Very sad also.
I am absolutely very perturbed about teaching back touch and good touch, right? Instead of that, the school, we put CCTV in schools, but there is no one manning that CCTV. We look at the recording after the incident has happened. Each school should have round the clock manning of the CCTV, right? You have to be more vigilant instead of, there is a way of telling the child to be, to be vigilant, to be careful, but constantly teaching them bad touch and good touch. You can't hold a child now.
It's coming from the fear of parents.
Yes, even we can't hold the children now because I feel the child is very uncomfortable. Earlier we would have children. Come on, this warmth is required. It's so much required. That's why, like I told you, when a child is born, you put them on the mother's chest to hear the heartbeat, to realize, that there's another human being. That's the first lesson on trust. Don't take away this human touch from the children. Don't. So that is what is upsetting me. We really need to rethink a lot.
We do. Now coming down to the younger children, how do we deal with them?
Younger children are the most easy to deal with. All you have to is smile at them and just gently hold their hand and they listen to you. Never approach them by putting any kind of fear against you. Fear is not an emotion that should be instilled. Most of the time, the Indian parenting or the Indian school system reaches out to the children to tame them by instilling fear. Right? Get into the class, the principal is coming. Why must you put fear? Why can't you logically explain that, look, this is the time you should be seated in your class because the teacher has to come. So let's not waste time. The teacher will come, put you in, she will waste 2-3 minutes, and those 2-3 minutes you can actually sit and talk to the teachers. Fear is an element which is not the right way to tame or to discipline the children. Right? So the little children logically explain them, oh, you must finish your tiffin. Your mom put such an effort. Why she put an effort? Because she wants you to grow. She knows that your body needs this. Let's just finish it. This is how you have to keep talking and reasoning out to them. Not that, just finish it. I want you to finish it. You're a bad boy. These negative comments should be totally out when you're dealing with little children. Teach them positive things. Right? Teach them all about love. Teach them about reasoning. Teach them about rules. Then they will, when they grow up, they will follow all the rules, right from the government rules to the traffic rules to the hospital rules to everything. And the smaller children, one part of the curriculum should be Etiquette is not about how to sit and how to talk, but also how to use the digital world, the cyber etiquette, the dining etiquette, the walking etiquette, the telephone etiquette, how to climb onto the lift etiquette, how to walk up the stairs, on which side of the stairs you should be so that the coming down and walking up has to be different. You'll have a more organized society, not what you see on the road. Nobody knows who's walking, there's jostling and hustling. That should stop. And that will stop only when the schools really pay attention to that. And children, it's embedded in their head that this is how you walk in the society. This is how you talk in the society. This is how you interact in the society. This is how you stay put in the society. Right?
I can only imagine the kind of students who are coming out from the school.
You know,
Absolutely prim and proper, as they call.
Prim and proper, I would say they are the children who know how to radiate hope and love. Prim and proper is very constructive. They constrict the human soul. They are there, they reach out to you. I remember there was a boy called Archit Malik. He's no more with us, we lost him in an accident when he was in the college. But he was a very, very defiant child. He called me up at 12 in the night. So my phone was circulated to all my children. Call me anytime. He called up and he says, I'm running away from home because my dad wants to give me signs and I want to take up commerce. I had a long chat with him just to hold on to him. He was a child who was always wanting to rebel. So keep the windows open.
How did you deal with him? Because I'm sure a lot
Oh,
of parents.
I knew that he called me because he knew I would understand him. Yeah. That's why he called me. So I capitalized on him on that. And I said, look, you want to do commerce. We're going to talk to your dad and find out why they want to give you signs. And you have to also be very clear as to why you want to have commerce. Hold on till tomorrow. I'm going to call your dad and we're going to sit and talk. And he spoke and spoke. He finally took commerce. He graduated out of school. He went to a law school. His father was a lawyer, was a very good lawyer of Sonepat. So these are the things I remember, where children did come up to you because, that 1% window,
Right.
I never shut my office doors. I used to come and open them wide, and the children would walk in, and my secretary was given instruction that when a child walks in, only if I have somebody, then ask them to wait, but you can't say, go back to your class, we'll call you later. The child has come to me for a reason, and I have to tell it. Most important, use that 1%. Use that 1%. Never lose out. Never lose out. Children are precious. Children are precious. In dogs are very precious.
Yeah. That's such a beautiful way of schooling children.
Beautiful way of loving children. Beautiful way of understanding children. Right. Beautiful way of thinking of a new society. We all, whoever is in the business of school, I know there are a lot of people who open school. They open school because they find that it's a very lucrative business. It is very lucrative. Is it? Not from the finance point of view. That I'm not going to talk about. It's lucrative because you have the power to mold the next generation. For that, you have to have clarity. If you do not have clarity, I request many people not to open schools. I get totally disturbed when I find somebody opening the school because they have a piece of land, they have some resources, where school called it in. And they don't understand what school stands for. School stands for observation, for exploration, for application, and for a mindset where you tend and nurture. Right. And nurturing is your own nurturing to their nurturing. That's how it is.
True. So while you used the term that education is not business, we've seen, I'm going to throw in a question which might be a little difficult. A lot of parents are seen complaining that, the schools waste the fee everywhere. They're just trying to earn more money. How do you want to take this question as an educationist?
Schools do raise fees. They raise fees because their trust is onto something else. A school can happen here in this garden. I can start teaching. I could run a school in this small garden. All you need is a teacher and a student. But as a society is growing, we are only thinking of packaging. When we think of a school now, if you have to send your child to a school, you would want to send them to which has an air conditioning. Right. The building and the classroom looks beautiful, as you would imagine in a book, right? Do you ever go and find out what are the qualifications of the teacher? Do you ever even question what grades are you giving the teachers? It's a very, very important part. If you do not pay them enough, they are not retained. Right. When they are not retained, that entire journey of your child, which is recorded by one teacher, observed by one teacher, groomed by one teacher, keeps breaking when you have more teachers. So it's also partially the parents and today's society. Everything is about packaging. Everything is the food. It is not the taste of the food, but how it is served. Exactly. Right? When you go to a restaurant, you go for a cup of coffee. It costs you in one place 20 rupees, in one place 200 rupees. Right. That 200 is because you're sitting in a good ambience. You have a very structured, uniformed waiter serving you. Right. There's a brand attached to it. That is how it is coming, Unfortunately, you asked for it. True. And the school, to maintain all that, will have to hide. Because if you have an infrastructure where there are housekeeping, all from a housekeeping department, which are well uniformed, which may not be trained very well in housekeeping, but they look very good as housekeepers, right? They are doing the general jharu pocha. It's not that they're using the vacuum, right, or they know how to disinfect, They don't know any of these things, You have buses, which are air conditioned, which has well uniformed driver, with a peak cap. But I don't know how much of retraining goes on in every year. You send them to the driving school to learn again, who knows the technique of driving very slow yet firmly. It's a packaging. You asked, today's society is asking for everything. Right. It's all about packaging. The school's also packaged. Yes. The soul of the school are the teachers and the visions. You don't even ask that. I have children coming from as far as Dwarka into my school because they wanted the brand initially. See, DPS हमारे बच्चे DPS में पढ़ना चाहते हैं. Even your nearby school building. Again, I keep telling the parents, you waste child's time in commuting, risk them on the road because you're running after brand. If you send them to a nearby school and ensure your home atmosphere is conducive to learning, half your battle. Just do not exhaust your child by making them run from one corner to another spot. Now you have that 3 kilometer thing, but I know what is happening. It's no longer that you. Anyway, let's stop there.
All right. Okay. So, in your journey, what are the obstacles that you face?
I don't like the word obstacles because, like I told you, obstacles retard growth. Right. It slows you down. I had challenges, and you can go simultaneously with the challenges because challenges do not derail. Challenges just need timely intervention to smoothen it. So I did have a lot of challenges in scouting for the land, challenges in getting a land which is cheap so that, my funding is not exhausted.
Right.
Since we were in Sonepat, I had challenges getting a good, hiring good team. I had to go to other parts of the country. So I had to ensure that I have accommodation for them within the school campus. Challenges of ensuring that the parents are on board with the school vision. When I started this whole thing that, children have to clean the classroom, I had parents saying that you want to save money, you don't want to keep housekeeping staff. That was also a challenge. But I know that, once you speak to them, they would understand. And moreover, once you know how to logically explain to the children would go and explain. Right. So we had a thing, where we said no to sugar. We didn't want children to have sugar at all. So we were promoting Khan, Deadwood. We were going on to millets way, way much before the whole thing started. It was the children who were going home and telling them. Even garbage segregation, we taught them via the vermicomposting. So the parents slowly came to me that, घर में हमको बोला जाता है how to have different dustbins. The children are educated, So the challenges are very difficult to groom the elder mindset of the parents. Very easy to build the right mindset in the younger minds. So these are the challenges. Never know obstacle. Never think of obstacles in your life. The moment you think of obstacle, it's burdening. When you think of challenges, then you have this competitive spirit to overcome the challenge.
So while you've had a great journey so far, and DPS Sonepat is now a very established brand on its own also. People know it as Mrs. Mann's School.
Yes, I'm so glad about that.
So
that's my.
What are your plans for the future?
Well, I am no longer with DPS brand. For some reason, I don't want to go into that. I have my own, I have taken a service management and we run this. I'm on to the next level now. I wanted that whatever I've taught, let people run it. I have taken a back seat. There comes a phase in your life when you want to step, then you want to reinvent yourself. So I'm in that stage where I've stepped back and I'm reinventing. Of course, I extend a lot of help to people who approach me when they're setting up a school. On a charitable basis, I would like to help. That's my way of giving back. But I am in that stepping back, reinventing before I forge ahead. So it's not a full stop. It's just a small pause. That's
you start with something else.
Yes, I plan to continue with education, but I am sitting and developing my own curriculum. I'm doing a little bit of reading into past bygone curriculum, traditional ones, not only of our country, other countries. I'm trying to figure out if we can really get it into a proper curriculum. That's all.
And you were also talking about the issues of losing. That's all.
I
want to now?
No. I want to keep it under wraps because I'm just building on that. Right. And then only when I'm very, very firm about how it is shaped up, then it's like a half-cooked meal placing.
True. So it was amazing talking to you. And I'm sure our viewers would love to know about your journey. And more importantly, how to do it too. Because your insights were very, very useful for me also. I'm also a mother. And I'm sure I'll be able to utilize some of them.
So, more than my journey, I think that the viewers should take home the love for the film.
True.
And the approach to not use the word handle the children, the approach in being with the children. Right. We always ask, how do you handle children? We don't handle children. We are with children.
Right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sophia, and all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.